Hi, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are at. I hope you're having a good day. Welcome to Money Wellness, episode 3. I'm your host, Ray Wheeler. I am a financial coach. If this is your first time, I want to thank you. Welcome to the channel. If you are returning, thank you. I appreciate the continued support. So if you are brand new to this channel, what I like to do on every episode is I like to meet, I like to help motivate you, educate you, empower you, and then hopefully that allows you to take some action. So that is what we try to do on every single episode. So today's topic will be, where is my money, right? So one thing that I seem to run into a whole bunch anytime I sit down with the family and I ask them, so what's going on with your finances, right? Why do you feel that you have no money, right? And I get basically the same question or same answer every time, right? Where is my money? I don't know where my money is going, right? And the reason that it doesn't matter really where you're at, education level, stuff like that, is if one thing that you didn't learn during the pandemic is that basically everyone lives paycheck to paycheck, right? The statistic is 85% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. So what does that mean? That literally means if you miss a paycheck, you're done, right? And the problem is no one really realized that until we shut down in the pandemic, and then they realized, hey, I really need to relook at my money and stuff, right? So I'm just going to go over basically a quick example of where your money is going and why you're in this dilemma, right? So to start off, for my motivation for the day is I want to let you guys know that there is a saying out there, right? That basically it was Newton's law, right? Every action has an equal reaction, right? And for some reason, when it comes to money and it comes to decisions, people don't think that, right? But realize there's an equal reaction to what you're going to do, right? So if you make these positive changes in your life, right, there's going to be a positive reaction in return, right? So I just want you to know that it's going to get hard and it sounds hard, but just remember that theory, right? If everything is going to have an equal reaction, so you put out all that good, you do all this good stuff, I promise you, it's going to come back to you. So the example I'm going to give to you is, let's take the typical average income of $48,000, right? That's about 23 bucks an hour, give or so, right? And how most people look at that is they look at, okay, I got about $3,700 a month that I'm getting, right? And well, let's see, what is my rent, right? Okay, maybe your rent's like 1,500. So you're like, oh yeah, I got it, right? I still got more than half of my income to do other things, right? Rent is taken care of. Now I got money for other things, right? So what are some of those other things that you can spend your money on, right? Well, what about music? Apple Music. Apple Music is about $10.99 a month. Spotify, about $9.99 a month. Pandora, $9.90 a month. YouTube Music, $11.99 a month. Maybe Sirius XM Radio, that's a little bit more expensive. That's like $17.99 a month, right? But you have you make $37,000 a month, right? And your rent's only $1,500, so you got over $1,000, right? So of course you can afford $10.99 a month, right? What is that? Well, then let's go over to TV, right? Well, how do you watch TV? Do you do original cable, Charter or Comcast, whatever? Well, that bill is probably $100 something a month, right? So maybe you try to do a cheaper option, or you think is a cheaper option, right? So you go with Hulu. Well, I'm gonna guess most of you guys don't do the very basic Hulu, which is $7.99, right? Most people do the $15.99 no ad, right? Or $15.49, I think is what it actually is, right? Or because you don't have the other cable, you get Hulu plus TV, and then hey, there's this thing they bundle, so they give you ESPN and Disney Plus. That's a great deal, right? $6.99 a month, right? But you really hate ads. So you go, hey, you know what? I don't want no ads. Well, you know how much that Hulu Plus with no ads is, that's actually pretty expensive. It's $82.99. It's almost 83 bucks, right? So that's pretty spendy. But as you know, with all these streaming services, right, your favorite shows are on different platforms. So you want to watch, I don't know what the new hit show is right now, guys. Sorry, I don't really get into that. But let's say it's on Showtime, right? Showtime is $10.99 a month, right? HBO Max is $9.99 a month. Or maybe it's on Peacock, right? Peacock, same thing, $9.99 a month, right? Or maybe you use Prime Video. Prime Video, $8.99 a month, right? So you go, okay, same thing, right? Just like your music, my TV is only $10 a month for this, right? I can afford that. And then we get over to your other bills, right? That you actually really you should be paying for, right? So internet, right? Internet in this day and age is basically it's a necessity, right? So we'll put that in the necessity category. And let's say your internet's maybe $50 a month, right? Well, then you gotta have electric, right? You gotta have lights, you gotta have gas, right? So let's average maybe your gas bill and your light bill. Maybe that's 200 bucks, right? Let's be conservative there. And then the last thing that we're gonna say as a necessity is a cell phone, right? Because everyone has a cell phone, and the typical cell phone bill is about 114 a month right now, right? So let's take those. So we have those, right? Well, what else is considered necessity, right? Food. Now, you've been at a grocery store. This number has definitely changed, but they said the average for one individual a month, they were spending $300 on food, right? Now, if you're like me and you got more than just yourself to take care of, they say a family of four spends about $1,000 a month on food. Now, if you've been in a grocery store lately, you know that $300 or that $1,000 goes kind of quickly. So those numbers definitely need to, be updated. So now let's just say that we have our rent that was 1,500, right? And then we're going to take our cell phone, our gas, and our internet, and we're going to put all those together, right? And we put that together, and what we come to find out is, oh man, we still got $1,000 left, right? Right? Or so you believe you have $1,000 left, right? Well, you guys have probably learned this, or actually, you're gonna learn this in the next tax time's right around the corner. So you're about to find out, right? Everyone's favorite time of the year, favorite thing to talk about is taxes, right? Everyone loves taxes. And so you think you're bringing home $3,700 a month, correct? But you're not. You guys all see your paychecks, right? And you see a couple things in there, right? You see Fed, you see SS, you see Med, right? And I'm not even talking about your 401k or your other benefits, like, right? I'm not even gonna pull those in right now. I'm keeping it very basic, right? So the things that you have to pay, right, is your state income tax, your federal income tax, Social Security, and Medicare, right? So if you're in this 4,800, right, then every single year you're paying about $3,000 in Social Security, about $700 into Medicare, and you're paying about 3,300 every year in your taxes, right? So that comes out right away. So what does that do? So that automatically tells you, hey, I'm not making 4,800 a year, right? So what am I making, right? Well, you're actually bringing home 2,700, right? So you're bringing home 2,700, and like I said before, well, we had 1,500 for rent, and then our utilities were 200, and then our internet was another 50, and then our cell phone bill was another 14. So when we go look at it, we're actually after we do those things, right? Those necessities, we're looking at about $470, right? And I haven't even added in gas. So let's say we add in gas for your car. Let's add that, right? Let's add another 150 bucks in there, right? So actually now you're looking at 350. So $350 is what you have, right? Well, I listed about a ton of services before, right? And they're about all about $10, right? So you can hypothetically afford how many of those, right? You have $300. Well, hypothetically, you probably afford two of those things, right? You got to choose one streaming service and one music, right? Problem is, we don't. We have multiple streaming services, we have multiple music services, multiple other subscriptions that we have, right? And that's what you have. Well, you believe that you have $3,700, right? Well, that gap between what you think you're bringing home and what you actually bring home, that's almost $1,000 gap, right? That's about a $900 gap in between what you're actually taking home and what you perceive you're taking home, right? And so this whole time you're making decisions, right? You're subscribing to this, you're grabbing food here, you're doing all these decisions based off of, yeah, I bring home $3,600 a month, right? I'm good. And the problem is you're not thinking of tax, right? And that's not your fault. We don't talk about that. Most people, when they do a budget, they're not thinking about tax in their budget, right? They're thinking about the bare minimum, right? Because that's what we always see in everything, right? Your car payment, there's a minimum. Your insurance, there's a minimum. Your cell phone, there's a minimum, right? So we only are always concerned with that paying that minimum. And as long as we can pay that minimum, we're good. We don't think about what could happen, right? Now, I said there's a $900 gap in between what you're actually bringing home and what you perceive you're taking home. Now, I talked to you guys a little bit earlier just about that Hulu Plus with no ad, right? That Hulu Plus with no ad is $995 a year, okay? So you literally just getting that one subscription, that's $1,000. That blows your entire budget up. You shouldn't purchase one other thing besides that. But you know what we do? You probably are like most people. You grab a coffee every day, you grab cigarettes, you do something, right? I can bet you that more 9 out of 10 times you are making a $5 purchase a day, right? And the thing is, if you make a $5 purchase a day, well, what's 5 times 5? That's 25, right? And then there's 4 days or 4 weeks in a month, right? So 25, 25, 25, 25. Simple math, that's $100, right? So you're spending $100 every single month on just stuff you're grabbing. That's just $5 a day, right? You only had 300. So let's pull another 100 out. So now you're at $200, right? Well, the average American is spending about $300 eating out, right? So what happens if we attempt to take that out, right? Well, we take out $300, we only have 200, we're negative 100, right? All right, now we're negative $100. Well, we still haven't done our Apple Music, we haven't done another streaming service. What if I go to the gym? What if it's someone's birthday and I want to go out this weekend, right? And you see how quickly now we're negative, right? We're at negative 100 and we haven't even really done a lot yet, right? And it just keeps on negative, 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 negative. But why don't you ever see negative? You have a credit card, right? And this credit card has a limit, right? One, two, three, four, $5,000. So now what you do is you add that to how much money you have. So you go, you know what, Ray? I don't actually have only $400, right? I have 3,000 plus whatever your credit is, right? So you actually think you have $3,400. And then, well, then you swipe the credit card, right? You take $400 off. Well, guess what you say next month? Well, next month I have $400 plus $2,600, right? Swipe again, sit there, right? And you just keep doing it every month, right? You take what you're breaking home plus what your available credit is until that available credit is zero, right? And guess what you now have to do? Well, now every month your income is no longer $400 plus available credit, right? Now your monthly income is $400 minus a credit card payment, right? So now what was adding is now against you. So now that's another payment, right? So now what do you do? So what you do, what most people do is, I get another credit card to supplement that credit card, right? And then you just keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that until your debt is so overwhelming that you finally claim bankruptcy or you finally give up, right? And you decide, I need to consolidate everything, I need to get rid of this, right? And the problem is people wait to that point, right? They wait until it's just a mountain of debt. And it just seems inconceivable of how can I ever get out of this, right? So I want you to sit there and today, if you haven't sat down, looked at your budget, or kind of looked at some things that you're like, you know what, I don't need these, right? Because I gave you a list of all these things earlier, right? And I told you how 85% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. Well, also, over 70% of people don't have $500 if an emergency happens, right? And they find it very hard to come up with that $500 because, well, I just went through it with you, right? Most people get to negative 100 pretty quick, right? But what if you got rid of your Apple Music, right? That's $131 a year you just saved, right? What if you got rid of your Sirius XM, right? That's $200, right? That Hulu, basically $1,000. Just getting rid of Hulu, you just added $1,000. You can take half of that, and boom, there's your 500, right? And so it's not as hard as you may think it is, but you have to really make a decision on what's important to you. Do I want these things more than my need to be financially free, than my need to not be stressed out? And unfortunately, wants continually I see overshadow need. Um, I hope that you guys were able to get something out of this today. I hope I was able to motivate you guys. I hope I was able to get you thinking. And like always, guys, if you have any questions, comments, just, put them down below, and I will try my best to answer those. As the disclaimers I put on every video, I am a licensed financial coach, so I am not allowed to just give you full financial analysis without actually sitting down with you due to me being a fiduciary, which means I have to do what's in your best interest. So without a full evaluation, it's hard. I can obviously give you guys generic answers about things, but to actually help you in your situation, we need to sit down. And that link to schedule a free chat with me will be down below. It is on my webpage channel if you guys ever need that. So feel free. Thank you guys again, and stay blessed and keep chasing your dreams. Have a wonderful day.